The air hung thick and warm, heavy with the scent of honeysuckle and damp earth. The way only a deep summer night can feel. Crickets sang their endless chorus from the shadows beneath the old oak trees, a comforting rhythm against the vast, velvet darkness sprinkled with stars. Young Leo, barely 7, felt the world was impossibly large and wonderfully mysterious. At this hour he sat on the creaky porch swing beside his Grandma Elara, her knitting needles clicking softly like tiny metronomes. Keeping time with the night, he fidgeted, his bare feet brushing against the cool wooden planks, yearning for something magical to pierce the familiar twilight. Then, it happened. A tiny, silent spark flickered in the tall grass near the edge of the garden, then another and another, like fallen stars winking back to life. The fireflies emerged, painting the darkness with fleeting, golden-green light. Leo's breath caught. "Grandma, look," he whispered, pointing a small, eager finger towards the dancing lights. Grandma Elara smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners like well-worn maps of kindness. She set her knitting aside. "Ah, the little lantern bearers are out tonight," she murmured, her voice as soft as the rustling leaves. "They've come to say hello." Leo couldn't contain himself. He slid off the swing, his heart pounding with sudden, thrilling purpose. Can I try to catch one? Just to see it up close?" Grandma chuckled, a warm, rich sound. "Of course, little one, but remember, gentle hands, their light is precious." And easily frightened, she handed him an empty mason jar she'd somehow produced, its glass cool and smooth in his small hands. Leo took it reverently, the simple jar suddenly transformed into a vessel for capturing starlight. He tiptoed down the porch steps, the dew-kissed grass cool and ticklish beneath his bare feet, his eyes fixed on the mesmerizing dance ahead. The chase was a silent, breathless ballet. Leo moved with exaggerated care, his small body tense with concentration. The fireflies were elusive, their lights appearing and vanishing like mischievous spirits. He'd creep towards a steady glow, only for it to blink out the moment he reached out. He'd stand perfectly still, holding his breath, waiting. Then, a light would appear right beside his knee, hovering bravely. Slowly, he'd bring the jar up from beneath, his other hand forming a careful cup over the top. The first time he succeeded, a soft gasp escaped him. Trapped inside the clear glass, the firefly rested on his palm for a second before taking flight again within its temporary prison. Its abdomen pulsed with a soft, ethereal light, a tiny beacon casting moving shadows on Leo's awestruck face. It wasn't bright, but close up, it was mesmerizing, a living ember back on the porch, under the soft yellow glow of the single porch light. Leo placed the jar carefully on the wide wooden railing. He watched, utterly captivated, as his first captive navigated its glass world. Soon, the urge to capture more of this living magic proved irresistible. Back into the soft darkness he ventured, drawn by the flickering constellations in the grass. Each capture required patience and quiet determination. He learned to anticipate their hesitant paths, to move with the fluidity of the night itself. One by one, gentle capture by gentle capture, the jar began to fill. 5, then 10, then nearly 20 tiny lights gathered within the glass walls. They crawled over each other, fluttered their delicate wings, and pulsed their cold, beautiful light in an ever-changing, silent symphony. The jar transformed into a miniature galaxy, casting a soft, enchanting radiance that illuminated Leo's proud, happy face and Grandma Elara's watchful, tender eyes as she observed from her chair. Leo sat cross-legged on the porch floor, completely absorbed by the jar resting before him. The combined glow was surprisingly strong, painting his pajamas and the weathered wood around him in shifting patterns of soft gold and green. He traced the glass with a fingertip, utterly enchanted by the living lantern he'd created. "It's like holding a piece of the night sky, Grandma," he breathed, his voice filled with reverence. Grandma Elara leaned forward slightly, her face bathed in the gentle, pulsating light. She watched the fireflies bump softly against the glass lid. "It is beautiful, Leo," she agreed softly, "but look at them. Little ones, see how they keep trying to reach the open air? Their light belongs to the night, to the wide world. Keeping them trapped dims their magic, even if just a little inside their hearts. True beauty needs freedom to breathe." Her words settled over Leo like a gentle, unexpected breeze. He looked from her wise, kind face back to the jar. He saw it now, not just the mesmerizing glow, but the tiny legs scrambling against the smooth glass, the wings fluttering futilely towards the pinprick holes in the lid. The jar felt heavy in his hands, no longer just a container of light, but a cage. The pure joy of capturing them mingled with a sudden pang of understanding. He had loved gathering their light. But Grandma was right, this dazzling spectacle wasn't meant to be contained on a porch railing. It belonged to the whispering grass and the vast, starry sky. He looked up at Grandma, a question forming in his eyes, met only by her quiet, knowing nod. Taking a deep breath that filled his small lungs with the sweet night air, Leo carefully unscrewed the metal ring and lifted the glass lid from the mason jar. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. The fireflies continued their slow crawl within their glass walls. Then, as if sensing the sudden opening to the immense world, one brave light drifted upwards. It hovered at the rim for a suspended moment, a tiny explorer assessing the boundless night, before launching itself into the freedom of the warm air. Then another followed, and another. Soon, they were streaming out in a luminous river, silent, graceful, and breathtaking. They rose like living sparks, dispersing into the darkness, their tiny lights winking back into the tapestry of the night, joining their free companions in the meadow. Leo watched, utterly still, his heart swelling with a profound mix of loss and a deeper, purer joy as he set the empty jar down. Years later, long after Grandma Elara had become starlight herself, Leo, now a grown man, sat on that same porch swing on a warm summer night. The crickets still sang, the honeysuckle still perfumed the air. He watched the fireflies dance their ancient dance over the moonlit meadow, their lights flickering like memories made visible. He remembered the weight of the jar in his small hands, the awe of that captured constellation, and the surprising rightness of letting it go. Grandma hadn't just taught him about fireflies that night. She'd shown him that the most precious things, moments of wonder, love, fragile beauty, are like fireflies. We can hold them gently for a time, marvel at their light, but clinging too tightly only dims them. True joy, he understood, gazing at the free, dancing lights, comes from appreciating the magic while it lasts, and then, with a grateful heart, letting it return to the universe, carrying its light out into the wide, beautiful darkness. The memory was his own, warm and enduring jar full of fireflies, forever glowing softly within him.